and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second son also, and the third unto the seventh. Whatever happened to the first brother, the same happened to the other 6 brothers. This is the meaning of the Greek homoios. Luke 5:33, and they said unto him, Why did the disciples of John fast often, and make prayers, and likewise the disciples of the Pharisees, but thine eat and drink? The disciples of John frequently fasted and prayed, and so did the disciples of the Pharisees. John 6:11, Jesus took loaves. When he gave thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. John 21:13 says, Jesus then cometh, and taketh bread, and giveth them, and fish likewise. Homoios. Whatever Jesus did with the bread, he also did with the fish. Whatever evil women did in Romans 1:26-27, evil men did also. What in Revelations 8:12, whatever diminished ratio of light occurred during the day, the same occurred at night. The point is that John 5:19 really does mean likewise. So that when we read Jesus saying, the Son can do nothing of himself but what he seeth the Father do, for what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. What did Jesus do? He came down and took on the form of a servant. He became fully human. He lived his life among people, blessing their lives, and he died. God died. And that's not the end. He was resurrected with the same physical body that he had on earth, except it was glorified and immortal. Whatever Jesus did, the Father also has done. Otherwise, Jesus didn't do that. That tells us God the Father is a glorified, immortal man, precisely because Jesus Christ also is the same thing. A glorified, immortal deity in the form of a man with a body, parts and passions. That's the power of studying the Greek. When we understand what this says, we know the kind and nature of being God the Father is. It is precisely the same kind and nature of being that Jesus Christ is. In fact, the Greek word blepo means vision, sight, seeing, to look or to see. Let's look at John 5:19 again. Jesus answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. Jesus saw his Father go become a mortal, live a perfect mortal life, somehow die, and resurrect with his glorified body. Jesus did the same thing. This is Christ's teaching in the New Testament. Whatever Jesus sees the Father do, he emulates. To see, that is blepo, someone is a discernment. Jesus saw the Father do certain things, and he's doing what he saw his Father do. So the question is, can anyone see something that's omnipresent? This is actual discerning and seeing. To see something means the object has boundaries which make it discernible. Yes, this is a true interpretation of the Greek. It's very interesting when we read this in relationship to Matthew 11:4. Jesus answered and said unto them, Go and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. John's disciples were to tell him what they had heard and seen. Could seen mean something other than what's literally discernible? When Jesus says, I saw my Father do, and I do likewise, He meant it. This is not an allegory. This is not a metaphor. This is fundamental reality because of things Jesus saw. And because He sees His disciples see things, and He tells them to go tell John, tell him what you've seen. They have physically seen it with their eyes. To really drive the point home, to understand the physical reality of Jesus Christ seeing the Father do what Jesus Himself did. He lived as a mortal, He died, and He was resurrected and became a God again. Very interesting. If Christ mixes the natures of human and divine, His Father did so before He did, because He saw His Father do that. This word blepo, Luke 7:21, and in that same hour He cured many of their infirmities and plagues and of the evil spirits. And unto many that were blinded He gave sight. The Greek word is blepo here.